welcome to the J here in Evanston. A little Big Ten softball on a Saturday afternoon. Maryland and Northwestern played yesterday. 5-4 Northwestern win, but a very close competitive battle. Ethan, should be a good one today.
Certainly so, Adam. Northwestern claimed the first of the series with a win today, has an opportunity to win their 12th consecutive Big Ten series. Northwestern also trying to extend that country-long home winning streak, currently sitting at 33 wins in a row in Evanston.
The Cats have been so dangerous at home. Northwestern winners of 16 of its last 17. Maryland on a 5-game skid, their longest losing streak of the season, but they've got their ace in the circle today. Without
a doubt, it's a big opportunity for Maryland with Weish in the circle. Courtney Weish, usually you'd see her start those Friday games, but needed an extra day of rest. So as we take a look here at the Maryland batting order, which is about to step up, Jada McFarland and Diamond Williams, the top of this lineup, always so dangerous for the Terps.
Incredibly dangerous, especially those top couple batters, 4 of them batting over 300 on the season as we step into the J here. First pitch from Cammie Henry. Strike on the outer half.
Should mention Cammie Henry in the circle today for the Cats. Some were expecting maybe we'd see Riley Grudzelanek, but instead, Drohan turns to Cammie Henry, who we haven't seen in about 2 weeks, comes in with an ERA just a bit under 4.
0-1 outside for Henry.
Yeah, but Adam, lots of lefties at the top of this Maryland batting order, and Coach Kate Drohan really likes Cammie Henry's matchup against those lefties, her ability to really attack, especially the inside part of the zone.
1-1. Henry offers. Kami hits right side. Robinson, nice play over there. Flings to Muno at first to record the first out.
Great play by Kansas. Robinson at second base, trailing a bit to her left. That ball came off of the bat of McCamey with some speed, but Kansas Robinson stayed calm, quick react, and tosses it over for the first out of the inning. Quick work by Cammie Henry.
Her first at-bat, struck out in her first at-bat yesterday, but really a dangerous hitter. Had a big day, 2 for 4 with an RBI, double and triple. Yesterday's matchup.
Yeah, you mentioned that double and the triple. That triple coming in the 7th, which really allowed Maryland to claw back into the game. Northwestern got out to a 4-0 lead, but Maryland really made it a game and put some pressure on the Cats late.
1-0 from Henry. McFarland watches that one wide.
Jada McFarland with 12 multi-hit games on the season, including a 5-hit game against Green Bay earlier this year.
Such a dangerous hitter, has hits in 9 of her last 12. Henry struggling to find the strike zone here. That triple yesterday McFarland had gave her 6 triples on the season, most in the Big Ten. 3-0. Takes the bunt back. It's in there for strike 1.
Bit of a surprising approach there from Jada McFarland. I would have expected just to take that pitch. It looked like that one was a little bit high in the zone. I'm not sure if that one would have been called for a ball and if McFarland would have had a spot on first base.
3-run from Henry. Out just on the outer half. Nibbled on that corner and runs the count full now.
Well-placed pitch by Cammie Henry, and suddenly the count is full.
Orange Park, Florida native, McFarland, payoff pitch. Swings at it, chopped just straight down. Ray, tough play, over to Muno, but not in time, so a runner aboard for Maryland.
That was a close play at first base, Adam. It was a really athletic play from Emma Ray to be able to pop up, grab it, and spin all the way around to try and make the play at first, but Jada McFarland, so much speed on the base paths, has 14 stolen bases on the season. Showing it off there, able to leg that one out and get to first base.
This is really where Maryland is dangerous. The middle of the lineup, Diamond Williams, grad student, first baseman. Watches that first pitch inside.
Diamond Williams, the transfer from Coastal Carolina, has hits in 16 of her last 18 and has some power too. Had a stretch in mid-March where she homered in 4 consecutive games.
She's batting .413 with 7 homers, 19 RBIs in that 18-game span you mentioned. 1-0. Goes to the off-speed in there for strike 1.
Cammie Henry, transfer in her own right from DePaul, was with the Cats last year. Pitching to a 3.45 ERA, 10-2 record for the righty pitcher.
Henry, the 1-1. Williams lays off, but it's in there for strike 2.
And it's really important, Adam, for Cammie Henry to be competitive early in counts, throw pitches early on and get ahead, because these Maryland batters are going to tee off if they're getting friendly hitters counts.
1-2 for Henry. Slammed foul. Right back behind, kind of over by us if there wasn't a screen in the way. Williams battles in the box. 1-2 again. Poked foul.
Good job by Diamond Williams of just attacking these pitches, spoiling them to keep them alive. And it's something that Maryland head coach Lauren Karn talked about, is just being aggressive early on and giving good at-bats, trying to string together consecutive good at-bats. You saw McFarland reach base. Diamond Williams looking to do the same here.
Henry, 1-2, hammered left center field. Lindsay over there to make the grab. Good contact, but just Lindsay being in the right place.
Some really hard contact there by Diamond Williams, but Ayanna Lindsay, who's been great in center field all season long, has been just erasing batters. 2 appearances on SportsCenter's top 10 plays overall in the season for Northwestern center fielder, who has just been so dominant in center field all season long.
Obviously playing that position with Skylar Schellmeyer leaving after last season for Northwestern. Sydney Lewis hopping in, throw down a second. McFarland steals second base. Just some of the speed on the base path. She's so dynamic.
And it's not often that we see runners get aggressive against Emma Ray, who's been so fantastic behind the dish for Northwestern all season long, but this Maryland team has been aggressive in Big Ten play. Leads the league in both stolen bases and stolen bases attempted. That's the 13th stolen base for Maryland in Big Ten play.
Lewis watches that one go by. Strike 2, 0-2 count. McFarland, that was actually her first stolen base in her last 5 games. Hadn't had one since. Moved up to tied for second in program history with 66 career stolen bases. 0-2 to Lewis, outside.
Lewis in yesterday's game, 1 for 3 with an RBI single in the 6th inning. Kind of got Maryland's run started there. Had a walk and a strikeout as well.
Has a lot of pop in her bat, the 1-2, that time inside. Only has 5 hits in her last 9 games, about 30 at-bats. Snapped a 2-game hitless streak yesterday, though, with a 1 for 3 day with an RBI and a walk. Count even at 2-2. Lewis chops it foul.
Nice play by Lewis, just to keep the at-bat alive. That's been a big improvement for her this season. Lots of strikeouts last year. This year, still pretty high strikeout numbers as you take a look at her season stats. That 266 average, an improvement over last year's mark of 216.
2-2 count, 2 outs here. Runner on second. Henry offers. Lewis chops it foul again.
Yeah, see it again. Lewis staying alive. In addition to that average improvement, also has improved her slugging percent from 309 to 450 this season, and her on-base percentage from 300 to 385. Big sophomore leap for Sydney Lewis.
The 2-2 will do it again. Henry delivers. Hammered left fields, deep center. Off the top of the wall, Lindsay couldn't grab it. A run will score. That'll be a stand-up double. Kind of a little bit of a contact there as she came to second, but an RBI double there to get Maryland on the board.
Hard hit ball there by Sydney Lewis, and that's been the issue all season long for Cammie Henry. Has just been allowing hard contact and way too many home runs. Has given up 8 home runs in her last 27, and that one was just a few feet short of being over that wall in left center field. Cammie Henry has to do a better job of avoiding that hard contact, and that's something that Kate Drohan and Michelle Gascoigne have really been working on her with. But Maryland gets the better of her at that at-bat and jumps out to a 1-0 lead.
McFarland coming in now for Maryland, her first appearance in the batter's box today. Went 1 for 4 versus the Cats yesterday. She's got speed too, good bat in the heart of this Maryland lineup.
Adam, also with that Lewis hit, a big 2-out play for Maryland. Yesterday they went just 0 for 7 at the plate when there were 2 outs. Was unable to do anything. Northwestern preventing those 2-out rallies, but not here early in this one.
1-1 high and outside. Just the 10th time a Northwestern opponent has scored first this season. Obviously, 32 games under the belt. Game 33 here for Northwestern. 2-1. McFarland watches that one go by for ball 3. It's all about the ability to rebound from big hits. Something Cami Henry has struggled with in the past, something that she's been working at to get better. Manage at-bats, manage innings. Here's the 3-1. That's in there for strike 2 and runs the count full.
Yeah, good job by Cami Henry there, going to the off speed, put it right on the outside part of that zone to load the count up full.
Full count, payoff pitch from Henry. High fly ball, but that's foul, way behind the Maryland dugout.
Cami Henry, this upcoming pitch will be pitch number 29 of the first inning. Maryland already getting some long at-bats, as well as putting a run up on the board.
Top half of this Maryland lineup so dangerous. The payoff pitch again from Henry. McFarland stays alive.
McFarland currently has a 6-game hit streak. Chance to make that 7 here and potentially give Maryland another run on the board.
He's batting .375 in that 6-game hit streak. He's got an RBI too. Payoff pitch again. Just outside, tried to nibble the corner, but walks McFarland.
McFarland draws her 20th walk of the year. Now leads the Terrapins in walks drawn.
And now Michaela Jones with an opportunity to add a couple extra runs here. Her out yesterday ended the game.
Yeah, not the best day for Michaela Jones yesterday. 0 for 4 on the day, working against Ashley Miller.
Cami Henry calls time, recomposes herself. She did snap a 5-game hit streak yesterday too, so it was really a tough afternoon for Jones. She's hitting .417 prior in those 5 games she had hits in coming into yesterday. Likes to go for the timing hit here, get her timing right. 0-1, low. Ray checks on the runner at second.
Wow, that was a close play at second base as Sydney Lewis got out a big jump after that pitch came in, and Emma Ray has a plus arm, as Kate Drohan would describe it, and is unafraid to use it, throwing down to second base there and making a close play. As we take another look at this, you can see Lewis gets out to a big jump, and man, that was awfully close.
Jones chops one back. Really impressive play. Looks like she didn't even get off her knees there. Just throwing from that, so much power she's able to create.
And should mention, as Sydney Lewis there on second base, no pinch runner in for her. Not the most speed on the base pass. Usually you would say a single in the gap could score potential run, but Sydney Lewis, not the fastest on the base pass. So in the chance of a single, there could be a potential play at home base.
2-2 count, 2 outs here, 2 on for Maryland in the top half of the first. Henry, ball low, runs the count full. And it's been these counts where she's gotten ahead early sometimes, and then back-to-back balls, runs the count full, and Maryland's been able to capitalize.
Yeah, we've seen a handful of these full counts. Cami Henry, 35 pitches in this first inning.
3-2, poked over to Donahey at short. She'll make the catch. Easy play for her, but not before Maryland gets a run across the board. Welcome back to the J. Maryland climbs out to the early 1-0 lead thanks to the bat of Sydney Lewis. And as we take a look at things here, it's Northwestern offense. And Kansas Robinson, the top, is such a dangerous hitter.
Yeah, Kansas Robinson has reached base in every single game for Northwestern this season, all 32 games. How about that for an impressive streak, and is a threat to go yard anytime she steps into the batter's box.
Longest streak by a Wildcat since Morgan Nelson in 2019, and then Courtney Weish in the circle for this Maryland team. Such a powerful pitcher.
Yeah, you heard the snap on the glove of the catcher there. The ball just jumps out of Courtney Weich's hand, and Kate Drohan said she might be the hardest thrower we have in the game right now. Said the key is getting the ball out of her hands and putting it in the hands of the defense.
1-1 count. Weish leading the Big Ten in strikeouts with 163 and 121 innings pitched this season. Got a 10-8 record, 12 homers allowed, 1-1, high.
You mentioned leading the Big Ten in strikeouts, and it's not really even close. Second place behind her is Lauren Durkowski, who this Northwestern team saw last weekend, but is good 30 strikeouts behind. Courtney Weish has just been so dominant in that strikeout category all season long.
2-1. Robinson slams it foul.
And Adam, usually we would see Courtney Weish start in those Friday games, but after pitching in the Wednesday doubleheader against Rutgers, Coach Karn said she was just fatigued and said she needed an extra day of rest to feel like she could best contribute and help her team win. So yesterday, Maryland went with a different approach, so Weish takes the circle today.
2-2, Robinson watches that one low, runs the count full. So Weish leads the Big Ten in batting average allowed at 162. After Ashley Miller kind of struggled yesterday in the second half, she came into the series with the Big Ten lead, but Weish now back into first place.
And Adam, this matchup is so exciting for any softball fan. Weish versus Kansas Robinson, two players who have been amongst the best in the Big Ten. Just so exciting for any fan.
Payoff pitch from Weish. Robinson watches it outside, and she'll reach base in her 33rd consecutive game this season.
She sure will. And Kansas Robinson has been so good for the Cats all season long, not just hitting all those long balls, but also leads the Cats in walks now and leads the entire Big Ten in walks in conference play. Kansas Robinson so good at just knowing how to take those pitches that are just outside the zone and getting a board for the Cats to lead off the inning.
Weish starts Nader off with a ball. Nader.
Speaking of walks, I was going to say, Kelsey Nader yesterday drew 2 of them.
And the first one was a 10-pitch walk in a battle yesterday, back in the first inning. 1-0 from Weish. Slaps it left side, foul.
Kelsey Nader's been hot at the plate recently. 13 hits in her last 28. Hitting .474 in Big Ten play.
Little meeting in the middle here. Weish and Laney Reef will talk things over.
With Courtney Weish, you get those strikeouts, but with that does come the fact that she walks a lot of batters. This Maryland team leads the Big Ten in walks offered so far in Big Ten play, and that kind of really is the Achilles heel, as you saw with Kansas Robinson getting aboard to lead off the inning and with no outs, and a dangerous part of the Northwestern lineup coming up. A chance for Northwestern to claw back after giving up a run in the top of the first.
Nader didn't have a hit yesterday, but you mentioned the 2 walks. 1-1 here. Nader slaps it, chops it right into the middle of the infield. She'll beat out the throw. It was late from Michaela Jones.
And Adam, Kelsey Nader is just so good at playing kind of that small ball slap style. That one chopped so high up in the air that with Kelsey Nader's speed, she was just able to get to first and make it not even a really competitive play. You see that ball bouncing high up in the air, and by the time Jones has the ball, Kelsey Nader is well past first base, and now runners on first and second, no outs for Angela Zedak.
And Zedak, such a dangerous hitter in her own right.
Certainly so, as Angela Zedak, 3 home runs in the Cats' midweek game against Illinois. Set some records for both the Cats and the Big Ten in that game. Was 0 for 3 yesterday, but always a dangerous presence at the plate.
0-1. Zedak squares up to bunt foul, but yep, had single game program records for home runs and total bases. 13 total bases were the most by a Big Ten player since at least 2021, and 3 homers obviously matching that Big Ten single game record. 6 home runs in our last 9 games. Obviously the 3 home run game against Illinois definitely helps those numbers. 0-2, swing and a miss. Weish gets the first strikeout of the inning, and Zedak's retired on just 3 pitches.
That was a beautiful pitch. Obviously, Courtney Weish, known for the speed on her pitches. That time, she attacks the outside lower corner of the plate with the off speed, and I think that's been the huge difference in her game this year, is that she's not just been a fastball pitcher, she's been able to utilize all the quadrants of the zone and vary her pitches.
Hannah Katie stepping into the batter's box. She's really struggled at the J this season, just batting 111, 3 for 27, 5 RBIs, 8 strikeouts in 10 games at home, but Coach Johan still has the utmost confidence in her.
Yeah, she should, and keeping her in that cleanup spot in the lineup just takes a few plate appearances for a batter to get back into the rhythm of things, and the Cats are, Hannah Katie is realistically due for one of those hot streaks. It's been a while. As you take a look at the stats there, the average down to just 228 on the season, hitting just 152 in Big Ten play.
Watches another ball go wide, 2-1 count. She was 0 for 3 yesterday, but did have an RBI on a swing bunt down the first base line. Hitless in 4 of her last 5 games. Did snap a 6-game RBI-less streak yesterday. 2-1 from Weish. Katie swing and a miss. Strike 2.
And Kate Drohan said of Katie that nothing's really wrong with her swing. It's just got to take a bit of a different approach. It doesn't need to try and get 10 hits in one at-bat to make up for it. Just take it one pitch at a time, one plate appearance at a time.
It's all about extending innings. Katie extends this at-bat with a little nudge off the end of the bat. Foul.
Yeah, once again with 2 strikes, Courtney Weish looking to attack that lower outside part of the zone. That time Hannah Katie able to spoil it.
Count even at 2-2 on here, 1 out. Bottom of the first. Weish hurls. Katie just keeps it alive, stays in that batter's box, and that's something that Coach Drohan really talked about. How can, she extend at bats? Said that she sees what Katie's capable of in practice every single day, just need to try and simplify the game for her. 2-2 again from Weish. Katie right back up the middle, soft contact, little dribbler, trying to get the double play ball. They won't get it. Nader out at second.
Nice play there at the middle of the base. Had a real chance for this double play ball. Good job by Hannah Katie to beat the throw to first base. Take another look here at this ball. Just over to Runyon at the second base side, and close play. Let's see here. Kansas Robinson getting to third base. Now 2 outs and a runner on third for Emma Ray.
First year from Superior, Wisconsin, digging in for her first at-bat. First pitch swinging right through that one. Strike 1.
And it's really an adjustment for these Cats hitters, especially after Tuesday's game against Illinois, where you're going to see against the Fighting Illini a lot of lower speed pitches. And against Weish, you just have to adjust to the speed. It's coming low 70s at you every pitch. As right there, Hannah Katie steals second, and Maryland content to give up the base. So now 2 runners in scoring position for Emma Ray with 2 outs, as the Cats look to maybe make a dent here in this Maryland lead.
0 for 3 yesterday with a strikeout for first-year catcher, the 1-1 from Weish. Ray watches that one. Just so much power on that fastball. Watching Weish warm up earlier, and the amount of zip on that thing is impressive.
Certainly is. Has a taller frame and just able to get so much velocity behind that ball. You watch her motion, it's just so built in with the legs there.
Ray, little bloop to center field. Pretty easy play there for McFarland, so that'll end the inning. Northwestern strands 2. Maryland leads 1-0, headed to the top of the second. Cats and Terrapins here, top of the second. Maryland leads 1-0 after Sydney Lewis RBI double back in the first, got the Terrapins on the board, and into the batter's box, Sammy Woods, the California sophomore. We talked to Coach Karn. She said that Sammy Woods was kind of her player under the radar right now for this Terrapins team, maybe a hit away from really giving this Maryland offense some extra juice.
Wasn't able to get that hit yesterday, was 0 for 2 with a walk drawn. As you mentioned, Karn said the whole offense just operates different when she's on and able to be hitting the ball.
Pitch from Henry, just off the plate.
Cammie Henry making her 7th start of the season. She's kind of been used both out of the bullpen as well as starting some games this year. And it's been a bit of an adjustment for her. At DePaul, she was used to just being an ace, being a starter.
Woods slams one left field. Zidak is there to make the catch, a line out, but some good contact.
Yeah, certainly. Always good for Northwestern to record the out, but Adam, it's a bit of a worrying trend here if you're Northwestern. Just lots of these balls being sailed out to the outfield as we take another look here. Sammy Woods turning on that one, getting out early, but Angela Zidak right there. To make about 2 steps, that ball was right there above her head. Grabs the first out of the inning.
Now Madison Runyon batting 180 on the season. Lays down the bunt foul. 5 walks, 5 RBIs. It's looking just 200 in the 8th spot in this lineup.
Yeah, Madison Runyon last season hit 320, and I think many people probably expected a big sophomore year jump from her, but just only about 50 at-bats so far on the season. Hasn't really had a chance to get into a groove so far this season.
On a 5-game hitless streak, trying to change that. Lindsay ranging over to her right, makes that snag.
Well, Maryland is making a concerted effort to just attack these balls, and oftentimes against Cami Henry, they're sending them out to the outfield. Northwestern, I won't say lucky, but a bit fortunate over the past 2 plate appearances that these balls have come really right to the outfielders. Ayana Lindsay and Angela Zidak making back-to-back nice plays in the outfield for the Cats. And with Cami Henry in the circle, Northwestern's defense is going to be tested. Cami Henry not known for putting up huge strikeout numbers.
2 outs here, top of the 2nd. Delaney Reef swinging right through first pitch strike.
Right after I mentioned that Cami Henry not known for strikeout numbers, gets a really nice swinging strike right there. So you look at Delaney Reef's average. Yesterday was 1 for 3 with a double.
0-1 inside. That double very big for that Maryland team as they try to rally back the second half of yesterday's game. Reef has hits in 5 of her last 7. 1-1. And Reef pummels that one left side. Zidak diving play makes the snag in left field. What a read by Angela Zidak to end the inning.
Well, 3 plays in the outfield for Northwestern and a quick inning of work for Cami Henry. But Adam, Angela Zidak making a beautiful play here in left field. Had to turn her glove to kind of scoop that one from the side as we take another look. Angela Zidak ranging to her right, turns the glove and scoops that ball off the ground.
Home half of the 2nd inning. Angela Zidak ending the top half of the 2nd with a beautiful play in left. And it's Northwestern bench doing such a good job, obviously, with their energy throughout the games. And Bridget Donahey now back to the plate.
Yeah, Adam, as Donahey steps up. And it's not just been the players who are playing who have brought that energy. It's some of the Northwestern players who have not always been playing, including Grace Nito and Lauren Boyd, who have both been injured so far this season. And Kate Drohan almost got emotional talking about what they've still brought to this team and the way that they've been able to impact. Said they're gassed after every game because of the amount they're cheering and bringing energy on that Northwestern dugout.
From a leadership perspective, they've been huge, and Drohan's really made that obvious, clear to us when we've had the opportunity to talk to her. 2-0 for Donahey, slaps it foul, and big home run to straightaway center, a solo shot for the sophomore from Phoenix, Arizona yesterday.
Yeah, you mentioned that home run yesterday, and against Weish, Donahey is the type of hitter who, if she connects the barrel to that ball, we could see her go yard again today.
2-1, Donahey watches it zip past her for a ball.
And with a pitcher like Courtney Weish, just the ball comes out so fast. Obviously, it just limits the amount of time for batters to react and make that split-second decision of whether to go or swing at any balls that are potentially in the zone.
3-1, Donahey sits on that one. In there for strike 2, runs the count full. Donahey hitting .290 at home this season with 2 homers, 2 RBIs, and 7 strikeouts. Payoff pitch from Weish. Donahey takes that, ball 4. She'll take her base.
And Adam, for the 2nd straight inning, Northwestern leads things off with a walk. It was Kansas Robinson in the 1st inning, Bridget Donahey here in the 2nd. Those are Northwestern's 2 leaders in that category, and Northwestern was unable to do anything with the runners on in the 1st inning. Here in the bottom of the lineup here in the 2nd, Northwestern trying to do something now.
Izzy Cunha coming into this week, the reigning Big Ten freshman of the week, named that back on Monday. First Wildcat to be named the Big Ten freshman of the week since Kansas Robinson last year, April 10th, 2023. That was the 50th walk given up by Weish this season, one that put Donahey on base.
You see the stats there. Those 3 home runs for Izzy Cunha, they've all come recently. That's why she was named Big Ten Freshman of the Week, as you were saying.
Cunha, soft contact left side, easy throw over by Jones to get her at first, but Donahey advances to second.
Essentially does the same thing as a bunt there, Adam. Just a slow dribbler down the third baseline. As you mentioned, it does advance the runner. Bridget Donahey now standing on second with 1 out. So a runner in scoring position here for the Cats once again as Ainsley Muno steps in.
Ainsley Muno in the 8th spot, 3 for 16 in 10 home games this season. Weish starts her out with a heater.
And Ainsley Muno has really taken strides as the season has come along. As you look at the stats there, was striking out a lot early in the season, but those numbers have really come down. Just 1 strikeout in her last 7 games, and it's allowed Ainsley Muno to put bat on ball more, and her average has improved subsequently.
1-0 low and inside, runs the count to 2-0.
As you mentioned, hitting .280 in Big Ten play. So you see the average there just sitting at .226, not the most impressive, but that bat's been hot as of late.
Started the last 18 games at first base. Weish 2-0. Muno thought about it. Didn't end up swinging, but it's a strike anyway. Freshman from Barrington, Illinois, is hitless in her last 4 games. 2-1 from Weish, offers. Slapped back right up the middle. Really nice play by Woods, who throws to third, and Donahey's going to try and come home. Jones couldn't make the catch, and Donahey will score a run.
And just like that, Adam, the game is tied. A bit of an awkward play defensively as Maryland opted to throw the ball over to third base instead of attacking the runner. Ainsley Muno, not the fastest on the base path, but had enough speed. It looked like she would have beaten any potential throw. As that ball was just fumbled around the infield, and we're all knotted at 1.
It'll be interesting to see how they score that.
Let's take another look. You can see that angle from above. A nice play keeping that ball in the infield by Sammy Woods, but then tried to go over to third base. Able to just run home and score Northwestern's first run of this ballgame.
Ayanna Lindsay now 1 for 2 in yesterday's game with an RBI, a double, and a walk. That double on a hit that she really used her speed to get to second base yesterday's game. 1-0 outs, or rather inside, and on the knees of Lindsay for now runs the count to 2-0.
Adam, and that last play will be credited as a throwing error for Sammy Woods, who usually provides stellar defense for this Terrapin squad.
2-0 from Weish, high. 3-0 count for Ayanna Lindsay. And what's the game plan of attack here for Lindsay? Is it just lay off?
I think so. Ayanna Lindsay's been so good at drawing walks as of recent. Has 5 walks over her last 5 games. Had one yesterday as well. Just lay off. Courtney Weish has not been throwing as many strikes as we usually see from the Terp.
3-0 count. Lindsay lays off, and there's another walk as puts the bat in the hands of Kansas Robinson.
And that is exactly who you want stepping into the batter's box with 2 runners on. Yesterday we saw her hit a 2-run shot with a runner on. Chance to maybe hit a 3-run shot today. And as I'm saying, with Courtney Weish, a pitcher who throws such high heat, when you do connect with that ball, oftentimes you're able to send it deep into the outfield. And Kansas Robinson, there are few hotter hitters in all of college softball. Leads this team in average OPS, hits, doubles, home runs, RBI, total bases, slugging percent, on base percentage. I need to take a breath after listing all those stats that Kansas Robinson leads the team in. The sophomore lead for Kansas Robinson has been nothing short of fantastic.
First pitch swinging. It's going to get by Reef, and runners will advance.
Yeah, now Kansas Robinson has 2 runners in scoring position and no force outs on the play. As we take another look here, is this ball that just gets past Delaney Reef.
Robinson batting .387 on the year with runners in scoring position. Another big swing and a miss on the outer half.
Kansas Robinson falling behind 0-2 as she chased that off speed that was low in the zone and now needs to protect the plate a little bit here.
And that's not something we typically see from Robinson. Coach Johan really emphasized how she doesn't expand the strike zone, doesn't really try and swing and miss.
You saw there as Kansas Robinson fouls another one back. Grace Minarovic, the pinch runner for the Cats, standing there on third base, running for Ainsley Muno. In a potential fly ball scenario, Grace Minarovic certainly has a more than enough speed to tag up and run, even if that ball is in the shallower part of the outfield.
Coach Drohan giving her instructions over there at third. 0-2, Weish readying herself. Takes a deep breath. Fires the 0-2. Outer half. Ball 1.
Good take by Kansas Robinson. That pitch was up in the zone. And that's pitch usually, I think we would have seen Kansas Robinson swing on that one back in her freshman year, and that plate discipline has just improved so much in year 2 in Evanston.
1-2 from Weish. Robinson slaps it off her foot. Definitely uncomfortable there. We saw that a couple times yesterday from a slew of different batters.
Yeah, lots of foul balls so far this series off of heels, ankles, feet, knees. It's been a lot of times where we've seen hobbled batters as we take another look at Kansas Robinson. That ball just off of that ankle, walks it off and shakes it off, still testing it. It's not yet to re-enter the batter's box. Shaking it off as Kate Drohan comes near to just check in on her superstar second baseman.
She's just trying to kick it out, take her time, make sure everything's okay. She says she's good. So adaptable in the batter's box. When she's off time, she can still go the opposite way. Drohan loves that about her. Can't get her out of the cage sometimes in practice. The 1-2 from Weish. Swing and a miss, strikes out Kansas Robinson. Now 2 outs.
And it's hard to strike out Kansas Robinson, Adam, but Courtney Weish just blows that ball right her. Goes with the high heat with 2 strikes, and Kansas Robinson just not able to time it up. You can see here, attacking that upper outside part of the zone, really utilizing, as I said, all 4 quadrants. Is attacked lower in the zone. That one goes to the upper part of the plate.
Now Kelsey Nader with an opportunity to get Northwestern on the board. 1-0 count to her.
Had that perfectly placed chopper back in the first inning that allowed her to reach.
Infield single. They ruled that one back in the first. She'll slap this one left side. Deep ball. Does it have the distance? It does! 3-run blast from Kelsey Nader. Cats lead 3-1 here.
Make that 4-1, Adam, as that'll be a 3-run shot by Kelsey Nader, who, last season not known for that home run ball, but this season, that is her 5th home run of the season, had 3 home runs in the Michigan State series alone, which was more than her previous career mark. As we take another look at Kelsey Nader going oppo, the power on that bat as she sends it out into left center field. As Makami trailed back, I don't know, from our vantage point, it looked like she might have had a chance to make the play, but just the pure power off the bat of Kelsey Nader as her teammates mob her as she steps on home plate. And Northwestern, who went down 1-0 early, it only took 2 innings for Northwestern to claw back and take a 3-run lead here in the bottom of the second.
5th home run of the season for Kelsey Nader. She's really added some power. And Northwestern 19-1 coming into today when hitting at least a home run, so bodes well for the Cats.
Angela Zidak steps in. Speaking of homers, we talked about those 3 home runs against Illinois. Struck out in the first inning. But Adam, you see the speed of Courtney Weich's pitches are what allows for, even when Kelsey Nader didn't necessarily get all of that one, able to take it oppo. Kelsey Nader has some power, but it's just the speed, the velocity coming out of Weich's hand, able to convert that momentum as it comes off the bat. And that's really been the issue for Weich all season long, just allowing those home runs.
It's her 13th home run she's given up this season. Zidak now 2-1 count. Power slugging super senior. She'll chop that one over to first. Easy play by Diamond Williams. That'll end the inning, but not before Northwestern gets 4 on the board. Big home run by Kelsey Nader. We'll see another angle of it here. Deep to left field, high up into the air. Cats lead 4-1 here. Headed to the top of the third on Big Ten Plus. Back to the top of the third here on Big Ten Plus. Northwestern putting up a 4 spot in the bottom of the second, and now back to the top of the order for the Terrapins.
And Megan McCamey stepping into the plate as Cammie Henry re-enters the circle for her 3rd inning of work.
Grounded out back in the first. She's 0 for 5 in her career versus Northwestern with 2 strikeouts. Had an 0 for 3 day yesterday with a strikeout. Still looking for her first base hit against the Cats in her career. Watches the 1-0 go by for strike 1.
For Cammie Henry here, who's working now in the 3rd inning. Her last appearance, she came in relief in the 7th inning against Ohio State in Saturday's game 2 weeks ago and did not play well. Couldn't even record an out, allowed 3 hits, 4 earned runs, and hit a batter. So that one is fouled right in our direction. Thankful for that net to prevent that ball from coming right near us. And Cammie Henry, we've talked about it. The issue has been allowing a lot of that hard hit contact, a lot of home run balls, as Cammie Henry has allowed 8 home runs in 29 innings pitched now on the season. But so far, has looked relatively sharp so far in this one. Allowed that run and some hard hit balls. So the count evens up at 2-2.
Yeah, and we were talking about it during the break, but maybe a little bit lucky in that 2nd inning with some of the hard hit contact.
Yeah, absolutely. Just some balls hit right in the direction of Northwestern outfielders, including a really, really nice play by Angela Zedak in left. That one was not hit right at her, but Angela Zedak doing all the heavy lifting on that one to scoop that one off the ground, turn in the glove. But the score remains the same, 4-1 for Northwestern. And if you're Cammie Henry, you'll take it. You have that defense behind you for a reason.
Payoff pitch, slapped right field. That'll get down. Nader has to get to the wall. McCamey will easily glide into second. That's a leadoff double for the Terrapins.
Well, there you have it, Adam. There's Megan McCamey's first career hit against the Cats, and it's a good one. A line drive hit out into right field, and more sharply hit balls by the Terps. And Megan McCamey on the base paths. Bit of a scary sight for Northwestern. Has 11 stolen bases on the season. The top of this Maryland lineup is just so scary on the base paths. So many steals last year. Led the Big Ten in steals, did Megan McCamey. 28 on the season, had 30 back in 2022. One of the biggest threats in the entire conference once she reaches base.
And our 74 career stolen bases is a Maryland program record. So talk about Maryland players that can steal bases. Megan McCamey at the top of that list.
And had 4 games where she stole a base in every single one. A few weekends ago in the series against Penn State. Had steals in all 3 as that one foul ball, and the ball lands right in front of us, Adam.
Yeah, I mean, if there wasn't a roof on top of our heads, probably could have made a play at it.
And, you know, you have the quick timing and reaction that I expect you would have caught that ball.
Dude, I was ready. I had the hands up, and then I realized there's a roof over my head. But, you know, probably looked a little silly in here. Pitch from Henry outside, 2-1 count. Kami still over there at second. No outs here in the top of the third. Northwestern leads by 3. McFarland right back up the middle. That'll probably score McCamey. Throw is coming in. McCamey holds at third, but McFarland up to second. Now runners on second and third as Cammie Henry continues to give up that heavy contact.
A nice throw in center field by Anna Lindsay to keep the runner from scoring. As we've just seen more and more hard hit balls. This one going right past second base. Ayanna Lindsay with the quick reaction and a good throw in order to keep McCamey there at third base. Is now in the Northwestern bullpen. It looks like Renee Cunningham is throwing. We've seen a lot of these sharply hit balls against Cammie Henry. Northwestern in these Saturday games has often taken an approach, kind of a platoon style, using multiple pitchers. It's been kind of a mix of Cammie Henry along with Renee Cunningham, Riley Grudzelanek. Usually it's been Ashley Miller holding down the fort in those Friday and Sunday games, often playing in the midweek games as well. And it's Saturday where the Northwestern staff has really been tested, and the team's been really good so far in those situations, as it looks like might get a pitching change.
Coach Drohan going into the circle to talk things over. Don't know if that means that Renee Cunningham is coming out, but she's definitely warm. Looks like she's out of the dugout talking to Michelle Gascoigne. It looks like she's going to come in.
Tosses her gum into the dirt as Renee Cunningham will enter. We'll take a break as Renee Cunningham will warm up here in the top of the third inning on Big Ten Plus. Northwestern leads 4-1. Don't go anywhere.
Renee Cunningham into the circle for Northwestern. Cammie Henry out after a tough first 2 innings, giving up some significant contact. And what do you really like about Renee Cunningham, Ethan, in this situation?
Well, you look here at the stats as she makes her 11th appearance of the season, and just a .232 batting average against. That's second best on this Northwestern pitching staff, and Kate Drohan really likes her ability to just pound the zone with strikes.
A strike thrower, can throw hard, as well as Diamond Williams into the batter's box on the right-hand side, the lefty from Augusta, Georgia.
Should mention, still runners on second and third base with no outs here for Maryland after Northwestern took a lead.
Slap to third base. Katie strong throw over to first. Keeps the runner at third. And now in a pickle. McFarland doesn't know what to do. Donahey's going to throw home. Now he got 2 pickles. Little sandwich. Play at third. And she is out. Makami snagged off the base by Zedak. What a play by Emma Ray.
Adam, we've got some action here at the J. A double play in one of the most creative ways. Hannah Katie first fielding the ground ball. We'll take another look at this. Does an impressive job of holding Makami at third base. It looked like Makami would have had a chance to go during the last at-bat, but stayed at third instead. Hannah Katie looks her over, gets the out at first. Muno quickly fires over. It looks like we have a pickle here with the runner stuck between second and third. And then realizing it, Donahey fires home, and Emma Ray, with that incredible zip on her arm, fires over to third base to get the runner out, erasing 2 Terrapin batters. And now suddenly you go from runners on second and third, no outs, to just a runner on second with 2 outs. A huge swing for the Cats.
Couldn't have been a bigger turn of events as Northwestern finds a way to get that double play. Really nice play from everyone in the infield. Sydney Lewis over to third base. Easy throw from Hannah Katie. And how about Renee Cunningham coming into this inning and completely shutting things down?
As we'll look at the double play ball again, yeah, Adam, you mentioned it. Renee Cunningham came in a precarious situation, and it took a matter of seconds for her to just erase any Maryland threat. As a beautiful play there by the Cats defense. Angela Zedak covering third base, getting the tag out as we'll head to the bottom of the third inning. Cats up 4-1.
Bottom of the third here on Big Ten Plus. Hannah Katie, Emma Ray, and Bridget Donahey due up for Northwestern. Katie.
So look here at Courtney Weich's stats. 51 wins, tied 4th in program history. During the break here, they were playing the Timmy Trumpet Narco song, which, you know, of course, the Mets reliever, closer Edwin Diaz walks out to. And Courtney Weich brings a similar velocity on the ball as Edwin Diaz. Just crazy speed as you see her fire in a first pitch of this at-bat.
Don't know how much I love you making Mets references on the broadcast, but no worries as Weich comes back into the circle here, starts Katie off with a first pitch ball.
Hannah Katie, first plate appearance of the day. She reached base. This thing's turned over here. It was 0 for 1 on the day, excuse me. As that one gets passed very high in the zone.
Something I noticed as Weich was warming up in the bullpen before, a little bit of conversation between her and Delaney Reef, the first-year catcher. Just one spot, one pitch. Every pitch is its own moment. Really try and focus in, but Weich does so well, and most of the time, kind of uncharacteristic. It's allowed 4 runs today. Not all of them earned, given that I think there was an error.
Hannah Katie, just that .226 average on the season.
Katie slaps one straight away center field. It'll get over the fence. A solo shot for Hannah Katie, and that was kind of the moment that she needed.
Exactly, Adam. What a way to end a bit of a dry spell for Hannah Katie as she slams down on home plate, and Northwestern jumps out to a 5-1 lead. Hannah Katie got all of that one, sending it into straightaway center, the deepest part of the park. And Courtney Weich has allowed 2 home runs. So we take another look at this. Hannah Katie, just a line drive shot into center. And Courtney Weich can do nothing but look at it as it goes over the outfield wall.
Katie saying so long to that softball. And you could just see how pumped up she was. She really felt like she needed that one. Her 4th home run of the season. Cats lead 5-1. And 2 home runs in back-to-back days for this Northwestern team. Power for this Northwestern lineup has just been incredible. Now, 26 home runs in Big Ten play. Came in today tied for first in conference play with Minnesota with 24 home runs.
And Northwestern has just done such a good job of adapting to the speed of Courtney Weish. We talked about how they saw a lot of slower pitches against Illinois. Emma Ray up here at the plate, and Courtney Weish has a lot of movement on these pitches, and oftentimes best outside the zone. She mixes in pitches, but Northwestern's been ready for everything. You have to wonder, a bit of fatigue for Courtney Weish was what prevented her from starting yesterday. Not the best start to today's game, if that fatigue has maybe carried over from Wednesday's game into the weekend.
2-0 count. Ray slaps that one foul. And this Northwestern lineup, something that they can definitely do is hit some of that velocity. Coach Drohan saying that she felt a lot of her batters were comfortable with, pitchers pitching in that 70s mile-an-hour range, especially on that fastball. Ray watches that one in there for strike 2.
This Northwestern team also, they hit for power. After yesterday's 2 home runs today, it's a team that now leads the Big Ten in home runs so far during conference play in this 12th Big Ten game of the season.
Ray this time lifts one deep right field, back to the warning track, over the wall. How about another home run for this Northwestern team? Emma Ray this time, her 6th of the year. Cats continue to expand the lead.
Well, Emma Ray gets in on the action as the Cats go back to back. Hannah Cady and Emma Ray, a 1-2 punch here in the middle of Northwestern's lineup. Emma Ray's 6th home run of the season, and we know Emma Ray can supply the power. As it looks like Courtney Weish is exiting the game here early after just 2 innings, unable to record an out here in the 3rd inning. We'll take another look here. The Emma Ray home run before we head to break, as we'll get a pitching change, but Emma Ray going oppo to right field. Northwestern chasing out star pitcher Courtney Weish after just 2 innings of work. Cats lead 6-1. We'll be back in a jiffy.
Familiar face coming back into the circle for Maryland. Kira Booker did a really nice job yesterday in her work in the circle, but this Northwestern team just so much power of late. Northwestern's now hit 2 home runs in 11 of their last 13 games.
Kira Booker starts things off with the off-speed, really settled things down yesterday through 4 innings, yesterday as you take a look at those stats, lowering that ERA down to 3.62, only allowed 1 hit, 1 earned run, 1 walk on the day. It was a really nice change of pace for Maryland, but this Northwestern team is just seeing the ball so well right now.
Only the 2nd time in Courtney Weich's career she's given up 3 home runs. Last time, March 26th versus Indiana. That was in 2023, so March 26th, 2023. Donahey watches that one go by.
And how about Northwestern in back-to-back weekends? Last weekend against Michigan, against Lauren Durkowski. This weekend against Maryland and Courtney Weish. 2 of the best pitchers in the Big Ten, and the top 2 in strikeouts, chasing them out. Lauren Durkowski in Friday's game after 2.1 innings. Courtney Weish today after just 2 innings. This Northwestern offense has been attacking some of the best pitchers in the Big Ten Conference, and they've looked good while doing it.
Kira Booker, 4 innings pitched yesterday, only allowed a run, a walk, strikeout. But really controlled the game and settled the game down. Donahey gets out in front of that one. That's going to be a fair ball down the 3rd base line. Speeding over to 2nd base. That'll be a stand-up double for Bridget Donahey.
Donahey having a great day at the plate so far. Drew a walk in the 2nd inning and double now. And Kira Booker, who only allowed 1 hit in her 4 innings of work yesterday, allowing a hit in the first plate appearance she sees, as we'll take another look at this swing by Bridget Donahey, able to get this one right down the 3rd baseline, right past the 3rd baseman in Jones. And Bridget Donahey now standing on 2nd here. Still no outs in the bottom of the third. This Northwestern offense is hot right now, Adam.
And they're going to review this play here, see if it was fair or foul. Stands would be Donahey's 10th extra base hit of the season. They're going to take a look at it. But Ethan, it looked fair.
Yeah, from our vantage point, it did. We had to, lean over to see it going down the third base line as the officials take a look at the video replay here. Bridget Donahey standing on second as the umpires, Kevin Condor, Mindy Villa, Laura Head, take another look at this one. Should it stand, Northwestern would have another running and scoring position here in the bottom of the third. And Adam, how about Bridget Donahey, who last year hit just .063? So taking another look here. And the question here is, did that ball, one, either hit on the foul side of the third baseline before it reaches third base? But if it gets past, if any part of that ball is vertical, is above that third base plate on the base, that is a fair ball. So the question that these umpires are looking at is, can they see that yellow softball directly above that third base?
But also, it may or may not have gone off Michaela Jones's glove. It looked like she had a play there. Maybe there was a tip or something, and it was in fair play before. So
you take a look there at the energy of the Northwestern dugout. They really bring it every single game. We talked about Kate Johan, as you might have seen there, Bridget Donahey, when she landed on second base, did a bit of a dance, and we asked, as here comes the decision.
Still a conversation.
Ruled safe, so they mark that ball fair, and Bridget Donahey gets on to second base. And as you see, Bridget Donahey, after that decision, doing a bit of a dance there at second base. As I was saying, we asked Kate Johan, what is that dance, what they're doing? She's like, honestly, I have no idea. You would have to ask them, but she loves it. She loves the energy this team provides. Game in, game out. Stepping up to the plate will be Izzy Cunilla, looking to add to this Northwestern lead.
Cunilla, 5 for 21 in at-bats at home this season. Just a little bit under 250.
Cunilla, the first year, went to the same high school as Angela Zedak in Marist and broke all of Zedak's home run records. Sure, something those two players talk about in the dugout.
But, I mean, how many times has Izzy Cunilla hit 3 home runs in a game?
It's a fair point. Still hasn't checked that box off in her young collegiate career.
0-2 count to Cunilla. First year from Oaklawn, Illinois. Punches this one into left field. Pretty easy play for McCamey over there.
And Booker going with the off-speed, and I mean, talk about a change of pace compared to what Northwestern was seeing with Weish. Those low 70-mile-per-hour fastballs that you really have to be out ahead on. Kira Booker probably taking 20 to 25 mile-per-hours off what they were seeing with Weish, going with the off-speed there. Certainly an adjustment, and on that time, just gets Cunilla into some weak contact.
Muno, who already has a base knock in today's game. That pitch, Reef unable to keep it in front of her, so Donahey able to scooch over to third.
And Adam, that sets up a scenario where potential sacrifice fly would be in play if Muno's able to get this deep enough into the outfield. You could see Bridget Donahey test home as you see the pitch there from Booker, just able to get past Reef behind the plate.
Booker, the 1-0. Donahey lays off. Ball 2.
Very high percentage of those off-speed. Lots of arc on these pitches from Booker. And Northwestern will just have to see a few of these pitches to adjust it. Bridget Donahey was able to do it fast. See if the rest of the lineup can do the same.
Lays down the bunt right at home, and Donahey under the tag. Another run scores. What a play by Bridget Donahey.
Adam, that speed was made by just, the play was made by the speed of Bridget Donahey, who just darted home. The called bunt, that ball landed right in front of Delaney Reef, and usually we're able to see a catcher take that and just turn to the left and tag a runner out, but Bridget Donahey able to slide under it. We'll take another look here. You see that ball is just 2 feet out in front. Able to slide under a potential tag, and Northwestern continues their dominance, taking a 7-1 lead as Muno reaches first base as well.
Ball inside to start Lindsay, but just Donahey with the speed and then paragliding below the tag. Northwestern just finding itself here in the middle innings. 4 runs in the second, 3 runs in the third. Still 1 out here and runner on. It's Muno on first. 1-1 to Lindsay.
Lindsay, who singled in her first plate appearance, had a double in the bottom of the 6th inning yesterday, what proved to be the game winner for the Cats, as they were able to escape with just a 1-run margin on a nice play where Grace Minarvik was able to go from first to home, had a great jump with stealing second on the Lindsay double, which just snuck past the third baseman down the baseline. Lindsay looking to keep that bat hot here.
2-1. Inside, runs the count to 3-1. Lindsay yesterday broke an 8-game RBI-less streak. He's batting .300 with 7 RBIs, 8 runs scored in 10 games at home this season coming into today. Chops that one foul.
Yeah, I mean, Ayanna Lindsay's a player who's really just flipped the switch and turned things on ever since conference play started. It's been so good for the Cats, and it's what's allowed the Cats to be so successful here at the bottom of the lineup before getting on base before things turn over to Kansas Robinson, Kelsey Nader at the top of the lineup.
Payoff pitch. Lindsay slaps it towards second base. She's out, but advances Muno over to second. That's Madison Runyon making that play over at second base.
Yeah, really nice play by Runyon, who had to roam over to her left to get that one. Nice short throw to first base to get the second out of the inning as the runner will advance. Another look here. The play from Ayanna Lindsay and a nice routine play from Runyon.
Kansas Robinson back of the dish, has hits in 28 of 32 games this year. Doesn't have a hit today in 2 plate appearances. Trying to change that, and she does. A base knock right up the middle. That'll score Muno. A little bit of a issue with the ball in center for McFarland, but how about Kansas Robinson? An RBI knock right up the middle.
Yeah, first pitch she saw of the at-bat, she liked it, and she took it right up the middle. McFarland, as you mentioned, kind of fumbled the ball in center field, and Northwestern tacks on another, make that 4 runs in the second inning, 4 runs in the third inning. So this Northwestern team is just in cruise control right now. They are seeing the strike zone so well right now as Kansas Robinson gets the board with yet another hit.
Kelsey Nader, home run back in the second, singled in the first. Leads the team in multi-hit games with 14 now this year. See another replay of her home run in the second, just lifting it out to deep left field. 3-run shot. 1-0, Nader trickles it right up the middle, gets the out at second, and that'll end the inning, but not before Northwestern tacks on 4 more. Cats lead 8-1 here as we head to the top of the 4th. Back to Big Ten softball action here at the J in Evanston. A lovely day for softball after it was rainy and sunny and couldn't really decide, the weather couldn't decide what it wanted to be yesterday, but today just blue skies, not a cloud in the sky. 8-1 Northwestern lead after 4 spots in both the bottom of the second and bottom of the third, but Maryland back to the dish.
And Adam, Maryland's had their chances. They've had some runners in scoring position, just 1 run, and Renee Cunningham, who entered the game last inning with runners on second and third, no outs, escaped it with what was a crazy double play. There were 2 pickles in 1 play. Northwestern able to get the double play, and then a quick third out right after that. Re-enters the game here for her 2nd inning of work.
2-0 count to McFarland, the Utah State transfer. Didn't play last season due to injury. She's been a big impact player for Maryland this year. Just look at those batting average numbers, hovering around 350, 4 homers, 17 RBIs on the year.
And Adam, really impressive to do that after a year off softball. You mentioned didn't play last year with injury, and she's been great as of recently over the last 15 games. 18 hits, 8 walks, including 1 that she drew in the first inning today.
3-0 count. Cunningham gets that one in there for strike 1.
It's not often you see Renee Cunningham throw 3 balls in the first pitch of for the first few pitches of an at-bat. She's so good at just attacking the strike zone, throwing strikes early and often.
In there for strike 2, so runs the count back to full.
Renee Cunningham's been so good all season long at avoiding giving free runners. Doesn't walk too many batters, rarely hits batters with any pitches. 3-2 count here.
Payoff pitch outside. Walk Maisie McFarland.
May have spoke too soon there, Adam, about Renee Cunningham not giving up free runners as she does here to start the top of the 4th inning.
Good start for Maryland, trying to claw back into this game. Chip away at the 7-run deficit. Kayla Jones now still hasn't had a hit in the series. Second plate appearance today. 0 for 5 so far in Evanston this weekend. She's someone that struggled with strikeouts at times. Struck out in 19% of her at-bats heading into the series. Now down 0-2.
Kayla Jones from New Palestine, Indiana, only about a half-hour drive from Kansas Robinson's hometown of Indianapolis. Both in that Indiana youth softball circuit.
That one outside, so 1-2 count to the senior Jones. Cunningham taking her time. 1-2 kicks and deals. Hit Jones and back-to-back free passes.
Yeah, Adam, I was just talking about that. Renee Cunningham doesn't give up many walks, many hit-by pitches, and back-to-back gives up a walk and a hit-by pitch there to start things off here in the 4th inning. A bit uncharacteristic as that one just ran inside on her, hit the elbow of Michaela Jones as she'll get on base for the first time this series.
Back to the 7th spot, Sammy Woods, 0 for 1 in today's game. Flew out to left. Hannah Runk, pinch hitter on deck for Maryland. For Madison Runyon, she stays loose. Woods from California, sophomore, watches that one low in the zone.
Had a fly out back in the 2nd, and it continues a bit of a cold streak for Sammy Woods. Just one of her last 24 over a 10-game span. Has a handful of walks in that span, but just not been able to put the bat on the ball.
This time she does, but pops it out to center. Easy play for Lindsay for the first out of the inning.
Northwestern's outfield has been pretty busy today, Adam, especially when Cami Henry was in the game. Lots of opportunities for Zedak and Lindsay in particular. The outfield as Ayanna Lindsay makes another nice play in center here. Routine play coming right at her.
But not necessarily as much hard contact on that one as we saw in the first couple innings with Cami Henry in there.
Yeah, certainly not. Renee Cunningham has come in and really settled things down, providing a different look for these Maryland batters. And even though there are 2 runners on right now, was in the same situation last inning, had runners on 2nd and 3rd, no outs, and was able to escape it. It's the chance to do the same here.
Pinch hitter Hannah Runk, 1 for 2 yesterday with a strikeout. Only has 2 hits in her last 23 at-bats. No RBIs and 8 strikeouts in that span. 1-0 from Cunningham. Runk watches that one for ball 2.
Hannah Runk, who didn't get an at-bat for this Maryland team until March this season, but in that first at-bat hit a 2-run double against St. Peter's. Struggled as of recently, though.
Inside, but finds the strike zone on the inner corner.
And Adam, the issue for Runk has really just been strikeouts so far. In those limited plate appearances, had one yesterday, has 3 games where she struck out multiple times as well.
This time pops it over to Donahey at short, so she's retired. That brings up Delaney Reef.
Adam, and there's more of that weak contact we've seen against Renee Cunningham ever since she's entered the game. It's what allowed her to escape the jam last inning. Another look here at the Runk bloop over to Bridget Donahey, keeping runners where they are.
And Reef is someone that kind of struggled offensively coming to the series. We talked to Coach Karn about it. She said that she was just trying to get her to focus a little bit on that one thing. That one eats Donahey up. Bounced right off her chest. Now bases loaded here with 2 outs. Big moment for the Terrapins.
An uncharacteristic mistake for Bridget Donahey as that one just took a bit of a weird hop. You can see here, the ball off the bat, looked like it'd be a routine play, took a weird high hop on that final bounce, got up into Bridget Donahey. So now bases loaded for Maryland here with 2 outs against Renee Cunningham as Michelle Gascoigne will come in to talk with Renee Cunningham after the error by Bridget Donahey, just her 3rd of the season. Bridget Donahey has been so great for this Cats team at shortstop all season long.
Yeah, but of recently she has had a couple mistakes. Remember last week against Michigan, had an error that allowed Michigan to score a run in one of those games on that weekend series. But for the most part, she's been so pivotal defensive presence for this Northwestern team. Coach Donahey called her the point guard of the defense last week. And Michelle Gascoigne trying to settle things down.
And Adam, that plus defense is a big reason why the Cats loved Donahey so much in the recruiting process. Was obviously a great hitter as well in high school, but was extra innings number 13 player a few classes ago. Only had 8 starts last year, but has been a mainstay of the Cats lineup this season, hitting in the middle of the batting order as well as manning things down there at shortstop, as we've mentioned, taking a huge sophomore year leap.
So back to McCamey at the top of the order, doubled last time. She had an opportunity, came round to third base but couldn't score. That was her first hit against Northwestern in her career, trying to have another one to climb back into this ball game. Outside, ball 1.
And Adam, that extra base hit McCamey's last time up was pretty rare. Before today's game, just had 7 extra base hits in her previous 124 plate appearances for a percentage of just 5.6%, but that double last time up, some extra power there from McCamey. She was able to get one out into the outfield.
And she's really struggled of late, coming into today, batting just .087 in her last 7 games. Looks like that we're going to have a review here. We're going to challenge the runner on second base leaving early. That's Kayla Jones. Let's see if she hopped off the plate, or hopped off the base rather.
So once again, we'll enter a review as we'll take another look. Should mention Northwestern also hosting Maryland in baseball this weekend, and Northwestern is up big in that game right now as well. I believe they're up 11-0 in the 9th inning, Adam, after walking things off in extra innings yesterday. Both baseball and softball for Northwestern having a lot of success against Maryland this weekend as we take another look here to see if the runner left early, and it certainly looks from that replay to be the case.
Very close play there, and how big would it be? Obviously with the bases loaded here, 2 outs in this situation, kind of erasing any Maryland momentum.
Yeah, Michaela Jones on second base just looking too aggressive there, trying to get a bit of a head start there on second base, and with 2 outs. Yeah, Adam, you mentioned that would be a huge swing in momentum, as right now Maryland has a chance to attack. They've already left too many runners on base, more than Coach Lauren Kern would want in 3 so far in those 3 innings, had a few scoring chances, and that doesn't even include the double play last inning that erased a few opportunities. Certainly don't want to leave 3 runners on here with just a completely unnecessary, unforced error on the base pass that would not even give Megan McCamey, one of the biggest threats in Maryland's lineup, a chance to put bat on ball here with bases loaded.
Looks like Mindy Villa and Laura Head taking a long look at this. First base and third base umpires.
Trying to time things up here to compare when Jones left the base versus that ball leaving the hand of Renee Cunningham.
We're going to try and take another look here. Got a couple different angles. One in the bottom left corner might be good. See if she hopped off the bag.
Adam, to me from that angle, it looks like she's out, and there comes the call. They rule Michaela Jones out at second base, so Northwestern catches a huge break here in the top of the 4th inning with bases loaded. A base running violation by Maryland erases the threat for Maryland, and Northwestern will keep this lead 8-1 as we head to the bottom of the 4th inning.
Northwestern gets out of a bases-loaded jam. Kind of a miracle for them in the top of the 4th, but in this 3rd inning last time, I mean, Northwestern with some power.
Yeah, I mean, it may be Masters weekend, but it's been Northwestern who's been teeing off a Hannah Katie home run, an Emma Ray home run, and then Northwestern adding more and more runs to the board. A 4 spot here in the bottom of the 3rd inning, as you can see. Psyched rounding the bases, chasing Courtney Weish out of the game after just 2 innings of work, and then Bridget Donahey getting under a tag, sliding in at home, and Northwestern jumping out to this 8-1 lead as they look to try and claim their 12th consecutive Big Ten series.
Zedak back into the batter's box. Watches first pitch from Kira Booker inside for strike 1.
Angela Zedak 0 for 2 on the day, just 0 for 5 on the series, has yet to record a hit ever since that huge game on Tuesday against Illinois.
Zedak watches another one by her, this time on the outer half of the plate, outside for ball 1.
Zedak struggled a bit against Booker yesterday. I mentioned, of course, wasn't able to record that hit. Looking for her first here.
Slaps it foul, lines it right down the 3rd base line. Almost took Coach Drohan's head off.
Yeah, well, Zedak waited on the off-speed pitch, adjusting to the speed difference. So Angela Zedak got a little bit ahead of that one, but it's the right approach to be waiting on these slower pitches from Kira Booker.
1-2 count here for Zedak. Booker kicks and deals. Zedak chops it foul.
Nice job by Zedak to stay alive against Kira Booker, who for the 2nd straight day has been in kind of this middle reliever, long reliever role. Last year was used a lot as a closer. Had 12 saves last season, was 1st in all of NCAA, and set a Big Ten single-season saves record.
Zedak slaps another one foul. Just staying alive in the batter's box, 1-2 count. She typically does this a lot when in the middle of that bat. She takes a long pause, a couple steps out of the batter box, and recenters herself.
Yeah, and it's a good approach, and it's part of the calmness that Kate Drohan has talked about that she's seen out of Angela Zedak recently. What's allowed her to have such big days for the Cats as of late.
1-2, Zedak lays off, evens the count, 2-2.
Kira Booker's 9th appearance of the season. 2nd straight day, seeing the circle.
That one just got away from her, runs the count full.
She pats her chest to say, yeah, that one's on me.
Came out of her hand awkwardly the entire way. She's given up 2 earned runs in this one so far. Just one inning pitched. Zedak chops that one over to the 3rd base side. Tough throw, but beats it in time. Nice play by Michaela Jones at the hot corner.
Yeah, certainly, and that's more of what we saw from Kira Booker in yesterday's appearance. Lots of just kind of weakly hit ground balls. Northwestern grounded out 12 times yesterday. A lot of those when Kira Booker was in the game. Another one right there. The sophomore from San Diego just been able to eat some outs for this Maryland team.
Hannah Katie back into batter's box. Homered last time she was up back in the 3rd inning.
And Adam, now it's time to see if she can parlay that into a few good hits and get a bit of a hot streak going. We had mentioned she was a bit cold before, but let's see if that home run from her last plate appearance starts to change things, get some confidence for Hannah Katie going at the plate.
It's her 3rd home run of the season at home, 4th overall. Power hitting 3rd baseman. Slugging is down this year, the batting average is down this year, but she's still the same player. She's still got that ability to change the course of a game with one swing of the bat.
And we've seen it this season from Hannah Katie, who started this season on a total tear, was batting .522 through 8 games. in the early portion of Northwestern's season.
2-1 to Katie. Big swing, just pushes it back. And something that Coach Drohan kind of joked about a little bit was there's nothing wrong with her swing. She's just needs kind of that confidence boost, and maybe that home run wasn't.
Yeah, you would certainly hope so.
Count even at 2. 1 out here. Northwestern leads 8-1. Bottom of the 4th. Booker, 2-2. Goes to the off speed, and Katie was way out in front of that, but does a nice job to make just the smallest amount of contact.
Hannah Katie swung for the fences with that pitch, maybe looking to double up, get 2 home runs in her last 2 at-bats. Swung through all of that one and just got enough of it to foul it back and keep the at-bat alive.
Booker, 2-2, 1 out. Katie watches that one high.
Kira Booker resets, a member of the Puerto Rican national team, played for the youth squad and now plays for the national team as well.
That one outside, and how about back-to-back really strong at-bats for Hannah Katie, this time draws a walk.
Yeah, and after going down early in the count, just great plate discipline, spoiled a few balls. And Adam, we talked about, can she make this a bit of a streak? 2 great at-bats so far today for Hannah Katie, and that's exactly what you want to see if you're Northwestern's cleanup hitter. If she can get hot, I mean, it completely changes the complexion of this Northwestern lineup. I mean, ahead of her in those 1, 2, 3 spots, Kansas Robinson, Kelsey Nader, Angela Zedek have been so good at getting on base this season. If they can have Hannah Katie behind them to drive them all home, I mean, it would change things for this Northwestern offense.
And especially with the bottom of the lineup being very productive in recent weeks. Something that you've mentioned, Ayanna Lindsay, Ainsley Muno in the 8 and 9 spot being productive, and obviously what Izzy Cunha did last weekend, and even against Illinois with the home run, this Northwestern lineup starting to click.
Emma Ray takes a strike there, also homered in her last at-bat. That solo shot in the 3rd that just kept going down the right field line, her 20th RBI of the season.
She's done an excellent job filling in for Jordan Rudd, the super catcher back there for Northwestern. This time, singles right back up the middle.
And Adam, that did not look like a first-year plate approach, just waiting on that off-speed pitch from Booker, recognizing it right off of her hand. And Emma Ray sits on it and just hits it right back up the middle, as you can see here, getting it right past Booker, as that one hops right past second base, and 2 runners are aboard for the Cats. And both Hannah Katie and Emma Ray, for the 2nd consecutive inning, go back-to-back with really nice plate appearances. Not home runs this time, but a walk and a single will do.
Certainly, Coach Drohan will be happy with that. Bridget Donahey back into the dish. Extra base hits in her last 2 games. Had the home run yesterday, a double today. Came around to score back in the 3rd. Remember, sliding in under the tag.
Runner on second base right now. Donahey hitting .300 on the year with runners in scoring position.
On-base percentage of .471 is so impressive for the sophomore shortstop. Double and a walk in today's game. 2-0 inside. Reef does just enough to keep it in front of her, or else those Northwestern runners were going to move up.
The 3-0 count now on Donahey, who has 24 walks drawn this season, tied for the Northwestern lead with Kansas Robinson. The 2 sophomores, just such great plate discipline.
3-0 count. Donahey watches that one low, and now the bases are full. 1 out here, Northwestern by 7. Bottom of the 4th, an opportunity to potentially open up this lead even further.
Yeah, a 4-pitch walk there, and Booker, who, going into yesterday's game, had only thrown 15 innings all season, seeing a ton of work so far this weekend, almost half that total in just these past 2 games. And yesterday played really well, but today giving up 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks. This Northwestern team has now seen a lot of Kira Booker over the past 24 hours or so.
And there's almost no hotter hitter in the lineup than Izzy Cunha. She's on a 5-game hit streak, which is the longest of her young career. It's also the longest active streak on the team.
0 for 2 today, though, as you can see, the fly out and ground out trying to extend the streak against Kira Booker in this at-bat.
Bases loaded. 1 out, 1-1 count for first year from Oak Lawn, Illinois. Reigning Big Ten Freshman of the Week. Trying to make another impact. Big swing, but just foul. She got a lot of power on that one, and if that was a second later, that was easily gone.
Adam, she wanted the grand slam ball, and can't really blame her. Izzy Kania, I mean, taking a look here, good swing, but just a bit early on it, and Kate Drohan said she hits a lot of bombs in practice. Regardless of which pitcher is pitching against her in practice, Izzy Kania hits bomb after bomb after bomb.
This time gets out a little bit in front of it, pops it up over to second base. Easy play for Runyon over there.
Yeah, didn't get quite as much of that one as Izzy Kania heads back to the dugout, a bit disappointed. And another first year comes up. Ainsley Muno, as you look here, once again at just this infield pop-up, unable to do anything, no sacrifice opportunity for Northwestern with the bases loaded. In the top of the inning, Maryland had a bases loaded opportunity, stranded all runners thanks to a base running violation. Northwestern trying to avoid the same fate here. It'll be up to Ainsley Muno to try and bring some runs home for the Cats.
1-0 count to Muno. Lays off. That's in there for strike one.
Muno 1 for 1 today. That single before today's game, just one of her last 14, kind of breaking a cold streak. So that one is low for another ball. Muno had a 3 for 4 day against Ohio State earlier this season. She's also been hit by pitches in 4 of her last 5 games. Bit of a quirky stat there.
And this one is slammed left field. No doubt about it. A grand slam for Ainsley Muno. And the offense keeps coming for Northwestern.
Yeah, it's just been an onslaught. Another home run for Northwestern. This one, Ainsley Muno's second of the season. And in one swing of the bat, she doubles her RBI total on the season, Adam. Had 4 coming into this at-bat and clears the bases for Northwestern here in the bottom of the 4th inning as the Cats are cruising up 12-1. Ainsley Muno getting out early on the off-speed from Booker and just sending that one deep into left field towards Welsh Ryan Arena. And she knew it off the bat. How about Ainsley Muno? And Adam, who hasn't been contributing for the Cats so far today?
The power is incredible for this Northwestern team. We hit it early on with how this Northwestern team has really been putting the bat on the ball of late, and it's really impressive stuff, especially after starting the season a little bit slower, hitting power, but coming into today with tied for first in the Big Ten in conference home runs, and is that 4 home runs today? That
is now 4 home runs today. Nice little quartet of long balls. Lindsay will ground out, and that'll end the 4th inning, but 4 spot once again for Northwestern here in the bottom of the 4th inning. That's 4 runs in the 2nd, 4 runs in the 3rd, and another 4 runs here in the 4th inning.
Second time Northwestern has hit 4 home runs in its last 3 games. See another shot of that one there. Just so much offense right now for this Northwestern team. They lead 12-1 here as we move to the top of the 5th.
Indiana 15-2. Maryland towards the bottom of the Big Ten standings has just been so cold as of late, trying to avoid dropping their 6th in a row. And they're going to need some heroism here in the top of the 5th inning to avoid being run ruled. Just 3 outs away for Northwestern. The run rule being if you are up 8 runs or more after 5 innings, the mercy rule is enacted.
Akami trickler over to Robinson. She'll easily scoop it over to Muno at first, and that's the first out of the top of the 5th.
And Adam, really the story of this game for Maryland has been missed opportunities. Megan McCamey really shouldn't have been up at the plate there. She should have had a chance with bases loaded in the top of the 4th inning, but instead it was that running violation as Jones got out to an early start on second base when there were bases loaded and 2 outs, and it ended the inning for Maryland. And this is the heart of the Maryland lineup, but a lot of work still needs to be done if Maryland is going to do anything.
Cunningham calls for time. McFarland 2 for 2 in today's game. Singled and came around to score back in the first. It's Maryland's only run today and also singled in the third. Has 2 hits, obviously, with those 2 singles. Now back-to-back games with 2 hits.
For Nate Cunningham, that got for another inning in the circle. She's really settled things down for the Cats after Cami Henry gave up a lot of hard-hit balls.
That one's hard hit, but right over to Donahey, who makes the throw to Muno to retire McFarland. So now Northwestern just 1 out away.
And this Northwestern team has been so good at protecting leads. They're 21-0 on the season after leading after 4 innings. As you take another look at the Donahey play right there, Northwestern just 1 out away from extending their winning streak at home.
This one slapped left side. Donahey backhands it over to first to Muno, gets the out, and Northwestern does it. Their 35th consecutive victory at the J, the longest streak in the nation. Now 12 straight Big Ten Series wins, winners of 17 of their last 18. This Northwestern team is feeling feisty right now.
Yeah, and this Northwestern team is just so dominant at home in that 35-game win streak, Adam. Now outscoring opponents 297 to 97. That is a plus 200 on the dot run margin as you see the teams meeting at home plate to shake hands. And you see right there the longest active streak in D1 softball at the moment. No one is hotter than the Wildcats of Northwestern.
And 12 of those wins have come via run rule. That includes today's win, the 12-1 victory. And it was really an interesting one because Northwestern got to Courtney Weish early.
Yeah, I mean, one of the best Big Ten pitchers looked all out of sorts today. Northwestern was just able to clobber some of Courtney Weich's balls. If you take a look here at the run that got things started for Northwestern, Bridget Donahey scoring on a throwing error back in the second. And then it was just Northwestern teeing off 4 home runs on the day. A total power surge for the Cats. And you can see the energy of the bench. Northwestern loves it. It was everyone pitching in today. Ainsley Muno had a grand slam, a homer from Kelsey Nader, from Emma Ray, from Hanny Cady, as Northwestern wins this one 12-1.
Winners of 17 of its last 18. Northwestern takes this one. Maryland now on a 6-game skid. For Ethan Siegel, I'm Adam Beck. Thanks for tuning in to Big Ten Softball on Big Ten Plus.